So you can't really paint without a paintbrush. Well, you can, and I have, but that's beside the point. Hi there, welcome back to my video series on organizing your crafting supplies and tools. This video is focused on tools. Now you could argue that paint is a supply, but for the purpose of these videos, I'm going to consider it a tool. So the first thing you want to do is consider the items that you use frequently, like almost every time you craft, because you're going to want to keep those items together and convenient. Those items are going to include things such as your hot glue gun, scissors and other cutters, Mod Podge, E6000 and other adhesives, sandpaper, scraper, and even Q-tips and toothpicks. And here's a hint. These old pill bottles make a great container for these items, and you don't have to have separate bottles for each. You can put them together in one. Now for organizing these tools, I love a caddy. They keep everything nice and organized, and you can move them from place to place. I used this smaller caddy from the Dollar Tree for quite some time, but I have outgrown it. So I recently picked up this larger caddy at Target, and I love it. So one thing I am going to do is I'm going to purchase a Lazy Susan so that I can set this on that Lazy Susan and spin it around to access whatever I need quickly and easily. Now your less frequently used tools such as heat guns or blow dryer, things like that, those can stay in a separate box and don't need to be as convenient to your workspace. And if you have specialty tools for specific types of projects like jewelry making or resin work, you'll want to keep those items together as well. And I really, really love these makeup boxes from the Dollar Tree. I just found these recently. Based on the colors, I'm thinking they're a spring thing. So if you're interested, you should pop over there and get them. They also have pencil boxes pretty much year round, although when I was there, I couldn't find any for whatever reason. But their pencil boxes also would be a good option. These are just a little bit bigger, which is why I like them better. I also love these deli meat containers. Even a smaller cardboard box from a shipment that you received would work perfectly fine. I do not recommend the McCormick containers from the Dollar Tree, nor do I recommend their little clear boxes with the handles that pop up and lock the lid on. The McCormick lids do not stay on, period, which I'm really disappointed about because I bought a whole plethora of them in all their different sizes. And then the other ones that where the handles pop up, they just fall off. So the lid does not stay secure. So I do not recommend either of those things from the Dollar Tree. When you're choosing your smaller containers to put into a larger box, you also want to make sure that you try and choose containers that are square or rectangular rather than round. That round container is going to take up the same amount of space, but it's not going to give you as much actual storage space as a square or rectangular box. Now, one storage option that I actually really, really love are these carts with the drawers in them. Now, they're a bit pricey, but they are a great way to organize, especially tools that are specific to a particular type of project or to keep similar tools in a singular location. But they also come on casters, which makes it a bit easier for storage because you can move them from place to place. You can tuck them in a corner and then pull them out when you need them. So let's talk paint. These 2-ounce bottles of acrylic paint are what are most commonly used for most general crafters. So a shoebox or similar bin is a pretty good option. This is a Sterilite box, and it's a bit larger than the standard shoebox that you get at the Dollar Tree. The standard shoebox at the Dollar Tree is just slightly shorter, and so when you put your bottles in, the lid does not fit. These Sterilite containers, the lid will fit on them. The challenge with actually both these types of bins is the paint can get very heavy, and so you end up with a somewhat flimsy container holding some heavy paint. Also, if you'll look and see, this is kind of the same issue that I pointed out in my other video on your general organizing space. These larger bins, they all have this groove around the edge, so the bottles just you can't get the bottles to sit up straight. I guess an option would be to put a piece of cardboard or something on the top of this so that everything would sit up straight. And that actually would not be a bad idea. This box here will fit inside one of those cardboard banker's boxes, which I mentioned in my other video is my storage of choice. This, however, it doesn't fit inside of it, but what it actually does is it sits right on top of it like a shelf. So The downside is you cannot put the lid on, but you end up with some space underneath for additional storage. I actually did that for quite some time before I purchased this caddy. So I'm sure that you have seen these in the stores. They're about $20. Michael sells them. They're made by Craft Smart specifically to hold their 2-ounce bottles of paint. I pushed back against buying this for so long because I did not want to spend the 20 bucks. However, I'm super glad that I did. It has a relatively small footprint. It holds 48 bottles of paint. It spins super easily. You can move it, although the bottom falls out, so you have to hold it from the bottom, which you kind of want to do anyway because it is super heavy. So if you've got the money to spend on the caddy and you do have a lot of paint, I really, really do recommend this caddy. So if you have paint, you've got paintbrushes. So I, for a long time, stored my paintbrushes in this metal cylinder. It was fine, but the problem was I always had to dump my brushes out to find my other brushes or just to find a very specific type of brush that I was looking for. Now, Dollar Tree has a similar item, but it telescopes, so it can be adjusted to fit the actual size of your brush. My storage of choice, honestly, is the Dollar Tree caddy. I love how I can see all of my different brushes. If I'm looking for a specific type of brush or a specific angle, specific width, I can grab it very easily because I can see everything that I have available. So the downside of this is it really has to stay out all of the time, and you might have an issue with the brushes getting dusty. So an alternative would be to store your brushes inside the plastic Dollar Tree holder and then just take this out when you're actually crafting. This thing comes apart very easily, stores practically flat. So that definitely would be an option. So in addition to your standard paint brushes, you're also going to have other brushes, sponge brushes. I have got all kinds of different items that I use to just give different types of textures to the paint. And I think that these makeup containers from the Dollar Tree that I mentioned earlier is a perfect way to store these types of brushes. And honestly, I don't even have an alternative. That's just get one of these and put your sponge brushes and stuff in them. Not everyone has the same storage needs or available space, but I hope that this video gave you some ideas to strategically store your crafting tools. If so, please let me know it was a quality video by giving it a thumbs up. And from glitter to wood to beads, in my next video, we'll tackle storing those crafting supplies. So be sure to join the Koala crew by subscribing to my channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss that video. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope that you have a quality day. Items such as your and other items such as, what the heck is this called? And paper. Good God. Okay. Okay, why am I having such a hard time with the stupid sandpaper? Jeez.